Hello and welcome, everyone. This is the Generator Founder Series Spotlight. Today, I am joined by Chris Campbell, the founder of ReviewTrackers and one of my favorite Generator alums, I do say. Chris, why don't we start? If you could please introduce yourself and tell us about ReviewTrackers. What was ReviewTrackers? And I always love hearing the Genesis story. How did that company start?
So, hey everybody. Um, am I frozen or am I okay?
You're
One
good.
second. Okay. Mine's frozen, so okay.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, your video actually is frozen. Uh-oh.
Great.
I can hear you.
Like a big closer Wi-Fi folks. Um, but the audio, is this a video thing, Troy? Or oh,
Ideally, but
okay.
we'll
Yeah,
do with what we can.
okay. Are you gonna edit this down?
We'll edit it down.
Or do you wanna re-answer the question? I'm so sorry, guys.
Let's
Uh,
reset.
are
All
you
right. So today I am joined with Chris Campbell, the founder of Review Trackers and one of my favorite all-time generator alums. He's going to talk about his history as the founder of Review Trackers, leading all the way to exit. And then I know he's excited to talk about what he's working on now. Please welcome Chris. And maybe, Chris, if you could please start by giving a little bit of your background and the genesis story behind Review Trackers. What is Review Trackers?
Sure. Hey, everybody. My name is Chris. I started the company ReviewTrackers circa 2012. ReviewTrackers, and I've entered the business now, so I'll talk about it a few times. I'll try to talk about it in the past tense, but um, uh, so ReviewTrackers is was and is a software platform that helps small businesses track and manage online reviews and customer feedback. So keep in mind, like circa 2012, the internet adoption, us checking reviews before we go anywhere, seeing what's the latest trendy, cool restaurant on Instagram wasn't like a thing yet. It was kind of like a different time on like how people discovered. They still ask friends and family for word of mouth recommendations. So it's kind of a novel concept at the time for a restaurant or a doctor's office to track and manage their online reviews. Um, so started in 2012 because I had a customer, I was doing marketing consulting at the time in another business, and they were trying to figure out how to manage their brand online. And I slowly became the largest customer of something who ended up becoming one of our competitors. So you kind of see how this story went. I was like super frustrated. I was like, why isn't this product better? And so essentially I built a better mousetrap. So in early 2013, we launched what became ReviewTrackers to help these businesses uh, start managing and responding to reviews. That first month, we had 9 paying locations or restaurants on our platform. And then over the next decade, basically grew that business. Um, Met Troy and Joe sometime circa 2013-ish. And they really helped our business grow and accelerate. But so about a year later, and got the first real investment. And then we sold the business about a decade later. And when we sold it, we had 200,000 customers in 100 countries. And we raised about 17.5 million in equity. And I think what other like fun facts? We were doing about 20, 23 million ish in revenue and recurring ARR when we sold the business. So, and then 120-ish employees. It was a Midwest company, started in Chicago, grew it, doing the generator program that did Madison in the winter, where I joke with Joe and Troy, it snowed every single day I was there. Um, but a lot of great things came out of the program. Um, like one of the first, I don't even know what her title was, but like the person that worked alongside Joe and Troy in the Madison program was a woman named Emily, and she's now my wife. So the generators touched my life in a couple different ways. Um,
We
so
actually list that as a benefit now. If you go through,
do you?
$100,000
You
investment,
should.
AWS credits, potential wife.
Yeah, who needs Raya when you have generator, right?
Yeah, look at that. And then I want to give Chicago some love. So I recall vividly, Joe and I went to an event, I believe it was Technori Pitch in Chicago, which
Yeah.
was a recurring event in downtown Chicago featuring entrepreneurs and startups. and I believe that's where we initially met, Chris. But that's where you founded Review Trackers. That's where you grew Review Trackers. Why Chicago? Give Chicago some love.
I mean, gener8tor is like I grew up in Chicago, had a lot of connections, so like it just made it easy to do business there. Um, Chicago in its own right is great for a lot of talents, where I think some like 100 universities is like in within a 50-mile circle. And I think, Madison counts as like an example of one of those great engineering schools in the Midwest. Um, but started in Chicago because like honestly, out of yeah, friends and family that are willing to. I mean, I did a lot of crazy stuff to start the business. Like, I mean, for a better part of a year, like I floated on friends' couches because I couldn't afford like renting an apartment. I mean, like I did things that are like normal people are not willing to do. But I believe in the business. I thought it just needed time, and over time it slowly compounded. Because month one it was 9 customers, then it was 20, then it was 40, then it was 50, then it was 100, and like it was a long, slow grind, but we got over the hump. Um, and by the time I met Joe and Troy at that event, the technology event, um, I think we were about 1,000 customers after the first year. And in the generator program, a lot of it was like we built up to the right point, but like we tripled in size in 90 days. So we went from 1,000 to 3,000 customers in 90 days. We raised some capital. We hired our first employees. It's like a lot of things kind of came together with that infusion in capital and, frankly, mentorship because, we fixed a lot of broken things we were doing trying to fundraise. I mean, like before I went to Generator, I probably talked to 150 investors that all said no. And then Generator helped me talk to probably another 150 investors. And then like, five of them said yes. So uh, it worked out.
I love it. What was the biggest challenge you faced as a founder, and how did you overcome it?
I'm not pausing because it's not like I don't have any challenges. I'm like, which one is the greatest? Because there were so many challenging situations. The business almost died several times. Um, and I mean, like I remember we were uh, short on cash, and this was at some point before Generator. One of the investors, I asked him to take in another 25 grand to basically keep paying the servers and like keep the platform alive. Uh, and if he hadn't loaned me the 25 grand, like would have not been over the hump. Um, we had dumb luck where we had our original developers was like a big dev shop because we again couldn't afford real US talent. So we had a team in India, an office in just outside Chicago. And it was just again dumb luck that they didn't have another project to like rotate the guys to because I was like, I can't pay you. And I was very transparent about it. I was like, hey, I have this much cash. We're going to run out at this point. And they kept us on and like, but they would call me like every time to be like, give me an update and why can't you pay me yet? Like that's a challenge. Um, Towards the end, like you think like as we're building a business, everything gets easier. Like when you had 120 employees, like there's problems every single day. Um, but and we can talk about this later, but like even selling the business, like one of our investors, and we sold for I think most investors had a pretty great outcome. But we had one investor that didn't want to sell. They thought we could sell for more money. And like almost killed the deal. So like that was an example of another challenging time that frankly didn't expect. So I don't know if I have the greatest
Maybe
challenge, but like I'm trying to think like
I'll
shit.
throw one
I mean
out. I'll throw one
yeah, it's
out that
like
I
you
remember.
probably know how many times did I call you and Joe like asking like random questions like
Well,
and
there's
eventually Joe's like stop calling me. You know what to do. So it's basically what happened.
There's one that stands out in my mind. I remember Google came out with a competing feature, I'll call it, where they were going to start aggregating reviews across not just Google, but all these other operators. And obviously, that speaks to the core of your value proposition at Review Trackers. I remember a notable venture capitalist tweeted something to the effect of like, 1 million startups just went poof based on that announcement. Obviously, you persisted, you had a successful outcome. But I'd love for you to react to that and like what was going through your head when Google made that announcement. And maybe if you could draw any analogies to today, I think the modern version of that, it used to be Google is the LLMs. Like, well, what if Anthropic or what if OpenAI creates, your core product just as a feature of their LLM?
Yeah, I forgot about that one. That's a good example. So, basically, Google said they were going to give away for free exactly what we were charging $30 a month for at the time. And there was brief moment of panic, and then we tried the product and it was garbage. And I was like, okay, unless they dramatically improve this, like I think we still got to market. And it turned out we were right. It definitely spooked people that were thinking about investing in us. Definitely spooked my team. And it was a good reminder of like how differentiation, having a moat, building a product that customers enjoy and have compelling differences is so critical and important. Um, so we made some product decisions of like probably accelerating some decisions of things we wanted to build or go after maybe a little bit faster. Um, how that relates to today with AI just replacing so many different things. I mean, I think it goes back to like the core fundamentals of like you got to have a loyal fan base that like loves your product. You got to provide crazy amount of value. That was always like a mantra that we had. Because the reality is like if someone was trying to save a few bucks, they could have switched to Google when they launched that product. But people saw enough value in the stuff that we were creating, um, and they stuck with us. So, I mean, it wasn't because we had long-term contracts, which eventually you figure that out and you could have long-term contracts and you can't buy yourself time. But um, I mean, I think if you can just, people are lazy, and if you can make it really easy for them to like solve whatever problem, like that's how we won over many years. Um, so I don't know if that's like a good answer, Troy, but like that those are a couple of things that come to mind.
Yeah, I
And
mean, you
in this example,
persevered. Yeah, you weren't
yeah.
scared off by it. You stayed the course.
No, I mean, because Google's not going to offer, whoever says Google has such amazing customer support, zero people ever. If you get past the chatbot, like that's impressive.
Yeah. What's one thing you wish you learned sooner as a founder?
How to actually run a business correctly. That took me probably 15 years, which was three-quarters of the way into my review trackers journey. So for those who don't know, I started a couple companies, bought some companies, sold some companies, and there's no amount of mentor groups, MBA programs, university classes, whatever that have taught me how to actually like what it takes to really run a business. And I have sharpened my view on like what culture means, how to treat employees, how to treat customers, what type of product we're differentiated. And like I think a good founder builds a sixth sense over time. And if you can trust your instincts, like because the reality as a founder, your job is to make the calls, but there's usually no data to answer. That's what finance people can answer the finance questions, or marketing people can say like this campaign is working better. But like a lot of times the founder's job is to like figure out where the puck is going to go off the Gretzky saying. And a lot of times there's no data. It's like instincts, it's anecdotal. And I think I've really honed that in over time to give myself what I think is above average instinct. Um, so that and I don't know, that's probably how I'd answer that question.
Yeah, it's good. And so you went through Generator in 2013. We started Generator in 2012. Basically, a year later, you were in one of our very first cohorts in Madison. Tell us more about your Generator experience and perhaps if you have like a favorite story or how did the accelerator help you the most?
I'd say there's two things that like there was different leverage points, and like um I think I was very blessed because we were able to fundraise, etc. Like we were also at the right time, right place where we had a product that was somewhat developed. We were starting to get some early traction that helped. But the things that helped move the needle for me that the program really is this, it was one, uh doing all the meetings. And I don't know how many meetings we had in time. It was like 150 meetings, and to like pitch the story. I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck do I have to keep doing this thing? And it's like but like you kind of get it like half. Well, I got it halfway through. Again, it takes me a long time to figure this stuff out. It took me 15 years to figure out how to run a business. Um, Halfway through, you start going like, okay, everybody's asking the same kind of questions. So I got to change the narrative in the story to get the story more concise, to answer the questions before they ask it. And in that example of going through 150 pitch meetings or whatever it was, 125, I got much better concisely sharing the value prop, the story, and the positioning. So I'd say that was one. Then two, the second thing was really framing out how to do fundraising. Like I was not good at that. Um, and to the earlier point, talked to 150 investors and basically 100% of them said no. Um, which I always find funny when I read stories and people are like, "Oh, I pitched 100 investors." And I like, I mean, I mean, over the lifetime of review trackers, I've probably pitched five, 600, and maybe half a dozen said yes. Like, I mean, that's kind of like crazy to think about, because we did seed A, actually three A's, a B, and then when we sold, like I'd also argue that was like we pitched 100 companies to say like, "Do you want to buy us?" So, um, yeah, I think I got sharper on how to tell the story, figuring out what actually matters, and how to pitch the fundraise were probably the big things that I got a lot of value out of Generator. And in fact, like offline, I just told Troy if I'm going to the session, I want to go to pitch practice because like I'm rusty with my new business, and it's been a while since I've
I'm
had to
here
do
for
it.
I'm
So,
here for it. What what advice do you have for entrepreneurs and founders that are considering an accelerator program?
not all accelerators are the same. Do your research, talk to founders. Um, that was one of the things that helped convince me to go with the Generator team. Um, I remember because I left a meeting with them. I was going to meet another San Francisco-based accelerator, which we also got into. And frankly, the difference is I talked to the founders that had gone through the program and tried to understand like where I thought I'd get more value. And I think I rightly chose the Generator team. So that's the first thing. Not all accelerators are the same. Because I know people have gone through programs and they're like, this is garbage. They've given up equity to programs that unfortunately don't create any value. And the second thing is like, if you're actually going to do it, lean in. Go up to the meetings ready, do the work. Um, it is like another full-time job. A lot of people think of it as like a little side thing to get the check. I think that's wasting the opportunity because usually there's in these programs there's a lot of people that really care about the our community, the success of your business. And the more that you lean in, the more that people want to lean in to help you win and support you. And I think that's why all these years later, I still can continue to be connected to the generator community because during that program, I tried to lean in. When I was there, I was present and I was ready and I tried to be active to get the most out of it because I needed the help and I need their buy-in to do it. And that's just like any other founder responsibility of like you want to build a community that wants to support you, that wants you to win, because you can't do it alone. It's not possible. It's not possible for me. Again, maybe you guys are a lot more talented than I am. I'm not that smart. So I need other people to help me.
I love it. Well, you congratulations on exiting and the successful sale of Review Trackers. You then moved to Miami. You're living in Miami now. Tell us what you're working on now.
Sure. So yeah, I moved to Miami about 6 years ago now, 5, 6 years ago. Um, they don't have winter down here, so it's pretty nice for those still in the Midwest. Sorry. Um, did something completely different. I started an ice cream shop, a bakery concept. So for all you guys working in AI, you guys scare me because I'm like, man, I'm like that world is changing so fast. Um, that I was like, I want to do something real world, something with my hand, and looked at a couple different businesses and ended up have a founder down here that I wanted to work with, and we wanted to build this banana-based ice cream shop. So it's called Banana Daddy. You can follow us on socials. It's Eat Banana Daddy, and a lot of fun. Very Miami through colors, branding, and personality. So started that. We launched 3, 4 months ago now. It's going pretty well, and yeah, pretty excited. It's complete money pit. There's no money in restaurants. I talked to 12 restaurant people to say, should I do this? 100% of them said no. They said this is a terrible choice. I can confidently say they were all correct. Now 2 months in, or 3, 4 months in, post launch. So there's that going for me. But I'm already finding not all the opportunity, not all the stuff we're doing is live yet, but like I still feel pretty excited about it. And like ice cream shops are a lot of fun. Like who doesn't love going to an ice cream shop? Like it's just like it's bringing joy and happiness to people in the world, and I think that's a good thing. So we have a lot of fun.
I to put that in perspective, I was visiting Miami for Generator, and I gave Chris a call. We were scheduling, we were going to meet up. We had dinner together. But when I called him, he was driving the truck, the Banana Daddy truck, from a live activation, back to the restaurant or back to the storage area, parking lot. And I think that's true, Chris. Like you go from like this software world to a very analog world in terms of the banana based soft serve. So I mean it when I say if you're down in Miami, you got to check out Banana Daddy. Go taste the product, go to the restaurant in person. But for everyone else, you need to follow them on social media because the personality is real. Banana Daddy.
Yeah, my partner Jordan, who runs socials, is completely unhinged, and he puts things. I'm like, "What are you thinking? What are you doing?" Um, so he loves it. So
I love
it's
it.
a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Well, Chris, thank you so much. Just all the kind words about Generator. Thank you for
Hello, this is Russ.
Device notifying you. Thank you for all your success. Thank you for all the kind things about Generator, and congratulations on all your success. We appreciate you and look forward to having some more of that Banana Daddy.
Yeah, come on down, visit us in Miami, and Troy, thanks for having me on.
You bet.